What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the SLZ Uncut channel. And today we are dealing with the aftermath of the Cummins, right there. As you guys know, actually, I don't know if I've dropped it yet. I'll drop like a small explanation now of what's going on. This is kind of like a very confusing thing, but so the last clips you guys saw, well, I don't know that you've seen any of the clips yet, but we actually, hang on, it's a little bumpy. We actually left for KOS, King of the Streets, Friday night at about 5 o'clock. And then my buddy Camden, that has the C10 swapped Cummins, ended up having some issues with this truck where the radiator was leaking, and it just wasn't worth trying to drive all the way out there with a leaking radiator. So we kind of just drove back to the shop and was like, whatever, just hop in the truck with me, and then we'll all drive out there in my truck, which usually is a pretty reliable truck. I mean, I've honestly never really been stranded with it except for like one time, and that was like a trans issue, and it was like right after I did a bunch of donuts, so like it was kind of my fault. So that was no big deal, whatever. We got my truck, drove all the way out there, got our, well, at that point we had already like realized we're not going to make it to the event, or at least it wouldn't be worth paying to get in because it was so late in the day. So we're like, whatever, we already have a hotel booked for the night, so we'll just go out to the hotel and then get a bright and early start tomorrow and go for the whole event tomorrow. Well, we had ran to Walmart to get like swim trunks or something like that to swim, and we got back and I parked the truck, and we all got out, and Camden goes, "Oh, your tire DB'd," and I was like, "Yeah, okay," like, because the truck drove fine, like it didn't make any noise or anything like that. Like, it usually, if a DB'd tire will kind of make like a little bit of a banging noise. Hang on. But when a tire DB'd, it typically would make like some type of bang or some type of noise, and the truck drove fine. So I was like, yeah, okay, like, good joke, ha ha ha. And I walked over to the other side, and the passenger side rear tire literally DB'd. So I was like, wow. I was honestly very confused because the tires all had air in them, to my knowledge, and it had to have DB'd right when we parked the truck, because it didn't DB while we were driving it, because you would definitely know about that. So at that point we were kind of like, okay, what in the world do we do, because we only drove one vehicle out here, we don't know anybody out here, and our hotel was 25 minutes from the track, so it's not like we could just go to the track. So at that point we're like, okay, well, we gotta find somebody to help us, like there's gotta be something we can do. I was kind of like ready to just blast the tire on, like try and do it at the hotel, but we didn't have an air compressor. I had all my tools, jack stands, everything we needed, just didn't have an air compressor or starting fluid or any of that. So the maintenance guy at the hotel ended up being super duper cool. Shout out to him for sure. And he had like a little 5-gallon air compressor, so he let us borrow that, and he had starting fluid. We kept trying to blow it up with starting fluid and wouldn't work. So we walked to Walmart, which was like a half a mile away. It took us about 20 minutes to get there. And so we went there to get inner tubes, bike inner tubes, and starting fluid. Now, if you guys remember, if you guys watched the video of me stretching the tires originally, I was able to use a bicycle inner tube that you just stretch around the rim, and then it closes off the gap between the tire, and then you inflate the tire, and then it kind of stretches on. Well, the only downside to doing that is, if it's not perfect, the bicycle tire will get pinched between the bead and the rim, and it'll leak like crazy. So we went and got that stuff, tried the starting fluid, it just was not working. I don't know if it was just not flammable enough, or if it was just the gap was too big, I don't know. We're like, okay, well, we'll just do the bicycle inner tube. So of course, first try it worked, started stretching on. Well, the air compressor, being so small, was having troubles getting it to like initially stretch all the way. So like we had to sit there for probably about an hour and like let it air up, and then let the compressor catch up, and then let it air it up, and then let the compressor catch up. And then eventually it stretched all the way on. Well, it was leaking after that. So at that point I'm like ready to roll the truck into the middle of a pond. I don't know. So we're like, okay, we don't know what to do at this point. Me and Ken are kind of like just like over it at that point. So we're like, all right, well, let's let all the air out of the tire and see if we can get the bead to come off again. because if you guys also remember, we had to use a whole truck to break the bead. That's another thing that doesn't make sense. I don't understand how a tire can debead when it took the weight of an entire truck driving on top of it to debead it. I don't know, beyond me. But anyhow, so we're like, okay, let's just pull the valve core, let all the air out of it, see if it can debead, and we'll try again because we had a second inner tube. Well, we did that, and no air would come out of the valve core. It was like clogged or something. It would take air in, but if you pull the valve core out, it wouldn't leak a bit. So we were thinking maybe when we sprayed the starting fluid in, it might have caught the inside of the valve core on fire, so like it clogged it. I don't know for sure. So we were like, all right, we're just gonna drive to the track, at least get it there, and then there's plenty of people there to help us if need be. Then Lucas, my boy Lucas, thank God for him, he was coming up, so I told him to grab my 2 spare tires, and he did that. And he did that, so he brought him up or whatever. We were already at the track for a little while, and the truck had been sitting with a leaking tire pretty much for about 2.5 hours by the time he got there, and it wasn't really all too low. So we drove the truck around to concrete, and we loaded the tires up in the bed, and we went about our day at the track, stayed there till about, I can't remember the exact time, but I want to say we stayed till about 5-ish. It was just really cold, brutal. The day sucked, it rained, so I didn't film anything hardly at all. Anything I did film, I will drop after this. So then we were about to put the stocks on, and then realized that the tires still had like a decent amount of air, and it had been sitting all day since like 10 o'clock. It had been sitting with a leaking tire, and it wasn't even flat yet, and we only had an hour drive home. So we're like, okay, we're not gonna put the stocks on, we're just gonna put air in it and then drive it home. It should be fine. Okay, now that I got you back, and you guys kind of are caught up on what's going on, we got to deal with our debeaded tire that happened over the weekend. Now, it is currently winter time. Well, I don't know if it's actually considered winter yet, but here in Ohio, it's pretty much winter. So, and the time changes happen, so we're gonna have to start getting used to some dark videos now. So pretty much what we got to do is figure out a way to get this to debead. I think what we're gonna try is the method of kind of driving a truck up onto the rim again, or not onto the rim, but onto the tire, get that to debead, and then try to blow it back on. We've also got a lot of other things to do to the truck, like clean it. Pretty much, if we can get that to seal tonight, I'm gonna drive it to the car wash and spray it off, and then we'll have to pull it into the garage, which is also a mess, and wipe everything down. I want to polish the wheels, and I want to flush the trans fluid and stuff before we take it on the cruise event that I'm hosting this weekend. Now, I think I said in a previous video that I was not sure if I wanted to take the Cummins or the hard body, but I kind of like literally just now decided that I think I want to take both. So that means I need to find someone to drive the hard body. I have a person in mind. I just need to send them a text. They may or may not want to drive their own vehicle. I'm not sure if they can even come or not. But I am looking for somebody that will drive the hard body. One, because I am wanting to get some clips of the hard body and the Cummins together, because they are both my cars, and I kind of wanted to get some shots of them together. So, yeah, if I can find someone to drive the hard body as well, I'm going to do that. So that means we have 2 vehicles to have prepped by Friday, and then we also have 2 vehicles we got to detail this week. So we got a long week ahead of us, and it's already Monday. It seems like the weeks fly by. I guess it's a good thing to stay this busy that, like, literally Friday will be here in a heartbeat, and I'm not looking forward to it. But it is what it is. So I'm not going to sit here and complain about it. We're going to sit here and get this tire debeaded. I'm not going to show you guys the whole process of doing all that. You guys have watched it a million times. I will catch up to you guys once we get it debeaded, and maybe even after we get it blown back on. Hopefully we can get it blown back on. Got the Cummins tire fixed. We're going to go wash it, and I'll kind of catch up to you guys when we get there. Okay, so as you guys can see, The Cummins is pretty freaking filthy. All from driving through the mud holes pretty much at the King of the Streets event. So we're gonna get this thing scrubbed down. On the way here, we were putting it in a second gear lockup tune. I hardly ever drive it in that tune just because I'm scared to break the truck. But God, this thing is so much fun. It's literally not fast at all, but like torque is just so much like more enjoying than horsepower, it seems. Like the truck probably makes a decent amount of torque, but like obviously it's not like a freaking horsepower monster or anything, but the truck is fun. Like it does exactly what I built it to do, and I just love this thing so much, dude. Like sometimes I get so mad at it, and then like I drive it and like beat on it, I'm like, dude, this thing is so much fun. So we're gonna wash this thing up, give it a well-deserving bath. I mean, even the insides of the bed is just trashed from mud flinging up off the tires. So we're gonna scrub this thing down and then go stuff it in the garage at home. And then either tonight or throughout the week, we're gonna slowly clean everything, polish the wheels up, get everything ready for the weekend, and pray that it doesn't rain. So best part about having a flat paint job is you can use the brush. So we just got this thing scrubbed down. I gotta go through and spray it all off. Got this thing sprayed down. This is the first time that this truck has been like properly like soaped and scrubbed down, and man, was it in need of it. Like look how much cleaner, you can just tell how much cleaner it is. Normally by now, like after I just sprayed it off, it would be drying up dirt already. But good Lord, it looks a lot better. We just need to get these wheels cleaned up, go home and clean the windows, clean all the chrome up on it, flush this transmission, and she should be ready to go for this weekend. And then all we gotta do is focus on the hard body at that point. So what ended up happening with the tire was, I think it was this one, yeah. So being said, guys, I'm gonna run this thing home, get it in the garage, and probably edit this video. You guys might see a video of the hard body getting prepped, or you guys might just see the video of the event. I do plan on filming a ton at this cruise. Hopefully some people show up. If not, I'll at least have the hard body and the Cummins if I can find someone to, either way I'm going to Hocking Hills because I want to get some good footage and stuff of the trucks. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for another video, and I'll see you guys in another video. Yeah, so I'll see you guys. Bye. Deuces. Yeah, bye.